not in a good direction, but Ole Miss 7-point dogs at Georgia totals 54 and a half in this one. Feels like a fairly big number considering how Ole Miss is usually popular in the eyes of the odds makers. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, so the number is probably about spot on, to be honest. I mean, especially with the way Ole Miss struggled last week against Wazoo. They were really fighting like down to the wire to kind of get that. And then Georgia on the opposite end probably should have lost that game against Auburn. I don't know if you watched it, but a lot of controversy there with some calls and the touchdown call and then the timeout. And
Seems like Auburn is on
yeah,
the wrong side of a lot of these
they
things so
they,
far.
they might be cursed at this point. Yeah.
When the league office is apologizing to you,
Yeah.
it's never great. I'll put it that
Yeah,
way.
yeah, and Hugh Freeze's halftime interview was hilarious as well. He was like speechless. I mean, as was everybody else. But I mean, so if you mix those two in, I think you kind of get the number that the odds maker has, and this is a little. I'm sorry.
Gotcha. I gotcha. You're
Okay,
still
okay,
here.
cool.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is a little revenge spot for Georgia, who last year, they suffered a loss, a really big loss at that point in the season for them at Ole Miss. And I mean, now, like numbers wise, I can't bet Georgia, but then again, I can't bet Ole Miss as well on the other side because I don't really trust Lane in this big of a spot against an elite like coaching staff. And Georgia's not an elite team, but they have schematically an advantage over just about anybody. Chambliss, this is his first road test, if I'm not mistaken. And the way to exploit Georgia is a secondary. I'm just not sure if he'll be able to do that. I think he'll have it schemed up. Kirby's usually good against first time through. It's like a pitcher the first time through the order, like a guy who's coming up who from like AAA or from college that nobody's seen in the majors. They typically do well because of the unknown. But I don't think that works here because Kirby's just so good. He's seen it all, done it all, seen it all. But Georgia's got to be able to get a pass rush to get things going. So I kind of make a case for both sides, which is why I like the under. Stockton cannot push the ball down the field. Outside the top, he's outside the top 90 in big time throw percentage. 149th in ADOT, which is an average depth of target. He throws the second most screen passes in the Power Four. Like so, it's all short stuff. So Ole Miss is going to make sure they're going to have to make sure that they tackle and prevent those short plays getting into long runs. And another thing I got from that I don't see a lot of people talking about is the first half, second half splits for Georgia are really interesting. So I'm looking at it, and I'm just go game by game against Power Four opponents. So in we're going to go first half to second half. So against Tennessee, they were -4, which means they were losing by 4 in the first half. And they come out in the second half, they were +7. Against Bama, they were -10. Then they were +7 in the second half. Against Kentucky was pretty much a wash. They were +14, +7 first and second half. Against Auburn last week, they were -7. Probably should have been -14. And then they were +17 in the second half. They held Bama and Auburn scoreless in those second halves. And both of those games were on the road. So I like the under here. I think that the defensive scheme change and adjustments to what Kirby does from first half to second half is telling in those numbers, and you could just physically see it. So I like under this number. I know it's not probably like the sexy thing to do, but if it's close in the first half, I would play Georgia second half just because I'm going to trust Kirby to make those adjustments. But if I had to play a side, I would lean to Georgia. Don't love it, but I do love the under. I think under is a great play.
I have no clue how the ball didn't break the plane. No clue. We're due a break, maybe one of these damn times. After Hugh Freeze after the first half, or excuse me, in a post-game interview, he also said the first half was possibly the longest half of football ever due to stoppages and questioning the officials ruling the player did not score a touchdown. So to your point, um, actually, and one thing that you said that I'm curious to click in on is you said that Georgia's not an elite team. Did I misquote you there?
Yeah, no, I don't think they are an elite team. I think, well, I'll put it in this context. I think the only elite team is Ohio State. I think Ohio State is the best team in the country. Maybe no, Indiana's a close second, I guess, from a resume wise, but I think Ohio State on a neutral would be favored by, at least 5 or 6 points more than any other team in the country. And as far as anything after that, I think it's all pretty much jumbled up. Georgia, I don't even think they're top five, maybe like 9 or 10. I mean, just because of the offense, they don't have a pass rush. They don't have a consistent offense as far as throwing the ball downfield. They play complementary football, which is fine, but it's better when your defense is elite, as Georgia has been. They don't have that elite type of defense. I mean, they got 6 sacks on the season, only one from the defensive lineman. So that's like a fall from grace from what we're usually seeing from Georgia defenses. So I don't really trust them offensively to be able to come from behind and win. Similar to what we saw with Missouri when Alabama, like Missouri's good from ahead. Georgia is good when it's right there between 3 and 7 points. If you get them down by 10 to 14, it's kind of a little bit tougher for them to come through because they have to get away from running the football and doing what they do best. So that's one of the reasons why I don't think they're an elite team. I think they're just a solid, good team.
Do you think they make the playoff?
No, I don't think so.